up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Bradley, but I go by Zuri Africa on social media platforms. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. In today's video, I will be talking about how to become an English teacher in Japan through the JET program. So in this video, I will be saying we a lot because both me and my partner applied to the JET program. And as you guys know, he's not on YouTube, I'm on YouTube. So obviously, I get to do this video for you guys. In this video, I'll basically be covering what the JET program is, what you need to do to apply, all the documents you need. I put up a question tag on my Instagram and on YouTube, and you guys sent in some questions. So after covering all of the information about the JET program, I will then go on and answer your questions. They like to say on these JET program videos that every situation is different, so I'll just say that every situation is different. Obviously, our situation was very different because we both applied to the JET program, and as you watch this video, you'll understand why. Please make sure that you watch the whole video so that you can get all the information that you need. Without wasting any more time, let's get into the video. So when I started teaching online Talkie, I had students from Japan, obviously, who asked me, why am I not coming to teach English in Japan? That was in 2021. So I started looking at the JET program to come to Japan in 2022, but the application deadline had already passed by the time I was starting to look into the JET program. I will say this, with me, I did my own research. Like I always say, I went on YouTube and I googled. There's so many videos about the JET program on YouTube, so you can go on YouTube and actually search for any and every information that you're looking for on YouTube about the JET program. So the JET program is the Japan Exchange and Teaching Program. So you basically come to Japan to become an assistant language teacher. So this is for people who come from native English speaking countries, and if you're watching this, you know that South Africa is one of those countries. I will not speak about other countries because I do not know about any of those other countries, and the link for South Africans, the Embassy of Japan in South Africa, will be in the description below with all the information about the JET program, because I will not just sit here and read the website to you. So you can go and read the website and see all the other information that I did not cover in this video, but it will be there. As you are seeing this video, you literally have like 16 days to apply, I think, because the application deadline for South Africans closes on the 16th of October 2023 for next year 2024 intake. So do make sure to apply, or if you are in the process of applying, good luck to you, and I hope everything goes well. How to apply to the JET program, basically, or what we did to apply to the JET program. So what we did obviously is print out the application form, collect all our documents, and courier our application to the Embassy of Japan in Pretoria. You need to send it to the Pretoria one, you can't send it anywhere else. What you need to do is basically collect all your documents that are needed in order for you to apply to the JET program. Obviously, the first one is the application form, which is on the Embassy of Japan South African website that you can find there. And then you need a police clearance. Your police clearance must not be older than the 1st of September. So you can't get a police clearance that was in August or July or anything like that. It has to be from the 1st of September going forward. We made the mistake of actually applying for a police clearance early because we wanted to do the early intake, early arrival thing this year, which means I think we would have arrived here either in April or March, but that didn't happen anyway because, as you guys saw in the previous vlog, the police clearance didn't get there in time, so I had to apply for the police clearance twice, which was a big waste of money. You need your statement of purpose. The statement of purpose is like a 2-page essay where you write about why you want to come to Japan, why you want to be part of the JET program, a little bit of background about who you are and your interest in Japan. So a lot of people will talk about, you know, how they are interested in Japan because of the anime and all of that stuff. You can write whatever you want. You can also Google on YouTube how to write a statement of purpose for the JET program. There's like plenty of videos that cover this in detail. Basically, that's what you need, like an essay just motivating why you want to come to Japan, as well as 2 reference letters. These reference letters might come from your workplace or your university. So if you go to WITS or UJ or something and you have a lecturer that you attended their classes or something like that, you can go to them and ask for them to write you a reference letter to say that you would be good for this JET program, because the JET program basically, I feel like low-key wants freshly out of university students also at the same time, because they don't really need a lot of experience from you to be in the JET program. Also, they don't really need you to have a teaching degree to be in the JET program. So as long as you have a bachelor's degree of some sort, you are allowed to apply on the JET program, but it needs to be a bachelor's degree or more, I guess. So that's that. So you can get your 2 references from your university, and if you're already working or you had a part-time job, you can also get a reference from your boss or your manager or whoever, and they must write there like, oh, this person has worked in our company, and this was their responsibilities, and this is what they did, and we think they would be great for the JET program because of this and this and this. So that's what they need to do, like a full page of, like, you know, a reference is what they need. The other thing that they need, obviously, since we're talking about bachelor's degrees, is they want your bachelor's certificate. The thing that we did different in our applications, because my partner applied and I applied, is that when we were submitting our documents for the JET program, I didn't have my degree yet. Like, I had finished my studies and all of that stuff, but I was only graduating in November. So what I could do is basically ask for proof of completion and estimated date of graduation, like the letter that you get that says Bradley is about to, or is going to graduate November something something in this campus or in this location, whatever. So I requested that from my university, which they provided me with, which I added to my JET program application form and documents and stuff. And then Diebold, on the other hand, he just attached his qualifications to his JET program applications and documents and all of that. So what I didn't have, which was different between the two of us, is the qualification, because my qualification was not there yet. They do say in the application form and the instructions of how to apply to JET is that if you don't already have your degree, because if you are in your 4th year of university this year and you want to go to Japan next year, then technically you can apply, but then you don't have your degree yet. So you can attach that form with your application and apply to the JET program, because it says technically you are done with your qualification, you're just waiting to graduate. So you can attach that type of form. The other thing that you need is a report of like your medical condition, or like your health report, which is something that they do here in Japan. So what you can do is just go to your GP and let them like take your blood, test for different types of things. Like, there is a form attached to the JET program stuff that actually helps your doctor figure out what they need to test for and all of that. So they will check your chest, urine tests and all of that, so that they make sure that you are healthy, because it is like a thing here in Japan. They do like the health check thing, I think, every year for their employees. So yeah, you need a health check report along with your documents that you're going to be submitting. And then if you have a TEFL or a TESOL or something like that, you can also attach that, because it does add extra to your application to the JET program. What you need to do to send your application, if you don't live around Pretoria, you can courier your application form with your documents to the embassy. You're not supposed to pay any money when you get to the embassy or anything like that. If they say that, then something is weird. Something weird is happening. But like, you can courier your application to the embassy. There's an address on the embassy's website on where to send it, how to send it, what to write and all of that stuff. They even tell you like specific details on what you need to follow in order for your application to be perfect. Like, please follow that. Japanese people are very meticulous in that sense, that like if they tell you a clip that's 20 centimeters, go by that exact clip. If they tell you to write in bold letters and a black pen and all of that, do that, because a lot of people are applying to the JET program, and any little mistake that you make on your application can get your application thrown out, is all I'm saying. So make sure that you follow the instructions of what you need to do in your application form to the T. To send your application, do that, or you can send it to your parents for them to send it to the embassy and like deliver it on your behalf or whatever. You just need to courier it, or you need to go to the embassy yourself. Sending it via courier actually does work and it's safe. I mean, we are in Japan and we sent our application via courier. Besides the JET program, if you don't get into the JET program, because we were shooting our shot essentially, right? So both of us are applied to the JET program with a 50-50% chance that either we both get into the JET program or one of us gets into the JET program. Either way, we're both coming to Japan together. Okay, so I also started looking at other companies besides the JET program. I started looking at other companies that do the exact same thing, basically like where you can become an ALT in Japan. And those companies, the first one is called Altea Central. It does the exact same thing. They do the exact same thing as JET. I think maybe their salary is a bit different, just a little bit different from JET, but it's essentially the exact same thing. You can apply from outside of the country, or you can apply when you are in Japan to be part of Altea. And another company is called Border Link. That company also same thing, you can become an ALT, you can become an English teacher there. And then another company is called Interact. That's the one company. When I was looking online and on YouTube, people did not have good things to say about that company. So yeah, do with that information what you will. Please do your own research, because I'm speaking from my own experience and just what we have gone through in general to be here today. So make sure that you do your own due diligence and actually research, read. The link will be down below about everything containing JET. Just sit and read. I went through all those documents, those pages, everything, so that I can do everything correctly. Read through them. So after your application thing, after your application has been processed and all of that, you will get an email around December and they will let you know about your results. So if you want to know the exact timelines of when they send what and when what will happen, there is a video on my channel where I say the process or the journey to joining JET, where I showed you step by step from the time we started applying, when we got what email, when we got what process, when we got the interview, when we got this, when we got that, blah 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 blah. All of that is there. So yeah, they'll send you an email around December to say you're accepted or you're not part of the JET program, and then they'll tell you where your interview location is. So they will ask you like, where are you located? So if you're around the Eastern Cape, your interview location will probably be like in PE, because Gewald's interview was in PE. If you're somewhere in Cape Town, probably somewhere in Cape Town. If around somewhere in Joburg, I don't know if they fly you. I don't know if they fly you to come do your interview, but obviously you have to go to the interview, which is probably in Pretoria. So yeah, they'll do all of that. And then after that, then the whole process of like applying for the visa, helping you look for an apartment, and all of that stuff starts. So to join the JET program, there is no application fee that you have to pay. There is no recruitment fee or anything like. If someone is asking you to pay money to join the JET program, you know it's a scam, because you don't have to pay money for anything. Obviously you need to have money yourself for like the first month you live here in Japan before you get your salary, which is something we'll talk about a bit later. But yeah, you don't have to pay for anything. They basically pay for everything for you. They pay for your flight, they pay for your visa application, they even help you with your visa application to a certain extent. They help you find an apartment, and in some other people's cases, the apartments that they live in Japan are actually like free in a way, or they don't have to pay that much rent, or it's a bit cheaper depending on where you are placed. And that's the other thing, placement. So when we applied, we actually applied for Kyoto, we applied for Osaka, and we applied for Nara, I think. We got our first choice, which is insane, because a lot of people say they never get their choice. They never get their first choice at all. They get placed on some island or a place that they've never like heard anything about ever. We did a lot of research about Kyoto and we love Kyoto and we got Kyoto. I guess, like they said, every situation is different. So you get 3 choices of where you want to be placed, or you can say Tokyo, and then they also give you a choice where you can pick whether you want to be in the city or in the rural area. So you can choose wherever you want to be placed and see what happens. In terms of that, they will pay for your flights, they will pay for your hotel accommodation when you get here in Japan and you do orientation and all of that stuff, and they will help you out as much as they can. In terms of bringing your spouse, so because I didn't get accepted to the JET program, even though I applied and did all those processes up to the end, they helped me in terms of like visa stuff, right? I didn't get to pay for my visa. They covered my visa, even though they did tell me that I would have to pay for like $350 or something for my visa. I'm on the dependence visa and they basically helped me with that stuff. And then in terms of my flight, since I'm not on the JET program, they did not pay for my flight, guys. They did not pay for my hotel. What I did is that I tried my very best to save. Actually, no, I didn't try my very best. I saved money to be able to afford a flight from South Africa to Japan and be here while d.hlatshwayo was doing orientation. And I waited until we were done with orientation, and then we can move into our apartment together. When you are applying for your apartment, or when they're having conversations with you about your apartment, they ask you like, are you coming alone? Are you coming with family? Are you coming with your husband? Are you coming with your wife? Are you coming with your kids? You can come here with your kids. You can come here with your husband. You can come here as a family for all you want. Even if one person's on the JET program, what you need to do is get like proper documentation. I mean, if you're a mom and you want to bring your children here, you need to make sure that the dad approves that you do bring your kids overseas. There's like affidavits and all of that stuff that you need to do. But yeah, you can come. Like you can't bring your extended family. You can bring your immediate family. So like your husband, your wife, your kids, and all of that stuff. You can come here as a couple on the JET program if you want. And once you are in Japan, they basically help you set up a lot of things, right? When we got to our apartment, obviously we found a fridge, and then the senpai or like mentor or someone that's supposed to be helping d.hlatshwayo, who is already in the JET program for like many years, like 4 years or something like that, helped us set up a bed. So they will provide you with a bed. A bed, they mean a futon, which is like a Japanese bed. So get ready for that. There is a fridge, and there's already a stove. Again, every situation is different. Some apartments come with fully furnished stuff. Some apartments don't come with anything. Some apartments come with some stuff. So you need to be fully prepared to spend a bit of money to live here for a month and get set up. Hence, you must save money to be here. I mean, when we came here, we came with like 30,000 rand, and it got us through the first month. And then when he got his pay, that pay is basically not your pay, okay? Like that first pay is not your pay, because he had to pay for rent, and I think like 2 months deposit, and also like utilities, and setting up the internet and all of that stuff. That was a lot. So like that salary, basically we did not see it at all. So the money that we came with in the first month, we still have to live off that money low-key in the second month, because his first salary was not really helpful in the house, basically, because of all these things. Like you have to pay for deposit, this, I think we also pay for like trash removals. We pay for like, you know, amenities in this apartment. So yeah, your first salary, so basically come with money for 2 months. The first month's salary is not gonna be your money. The second month's salary is gonna be your money, is all I'm trying to say. So we're gonna move on to answering the questions. So I have the questions over here. I will just answer them, and we will get through the video together. So the first part of the questions are going to come from Instagram. The first question is asking about application and requirements. I already spoke about that. The second question is, do they sponsor relocation? Yes, they sponsor relocation. They pay for your flights, they pay for your setting up here, they put you in a hotel when you get here at first, and yeah, they pay for all of that stuff. But that doesn't mean that you don't have to bring your own money. You need to bring your own money. The second question is, do you need a degree for this program? Yes, you need a bachelor's degree. I'm living in Botswana, born and raised here. Do we qualify? So what I saw when I was looking at the Embassy of Japan in South Africa is that they say something about they are also responsible for Eswatini and Lesotho. I'm not sure about Botswana. So I think you can check if there's a Japanese embassy in Botswana. If there's not, I think maybe try and shoot your shot and apply to the one in South Africa, maybe. I don't know, I'm not sure. If Botswana is a native English speaking country, then I don't see why you don't qualify, because there are some people that are in Japan on the JET program that are not from native English speaking countries that are on the JET program. So I don't know how they did that. So I think you might qualify. The next question is, do you have to have completed a teaching degree in order to be considered for the JET program? No, any degree is okay. Doesn't matter what degree it is. Obviously, if you have a teaching degree, I think maybe it does count to your advantage in terms of understanding what it's like to be a teacher or an assistant language teacher, for that matter. But no, you don't have to. The next question is, does the JET program recognize and consider a correspondence degree? I do not know what that is. I will not even lie to you. I don't know what a correspondence degree is. As long as, is it a bachelor's? Is it similar to a bachelor's? I'll now go Google what a correspondence degree is. I do not know what a correspondence degree is. Oh my god. The next question is, hello, can one apply for JET if married with children, and how does that affect the application? Thanks. If anything, it seems like the Japanese people actually really encourage like marriage and family and all of that stuff, because they specifically say there on the application that you cannot come to Japan with a boyfriend, you know, like that's not traditional like boyfriend girlfriend type of thing. So it's not going to be a big problem. I think if anything, they will accept you if you come here with your husband and children. It doesn't do anything to the application. They don't disqualify you because you're a married person. So yeah, you can't come here with your boyfriend or your girlfriend though. You can only come here if you're married. So yeah. What qualification you need to teach English in Japan? You just need a bachelor's degree, although for the JET program specifically, you just need a bachelor's degree. For what I do, because I work for an international school, you need a specific teaching degree of some sort, but we'll get to that in a different video if you're interested. Then the next question is, hey Zuri, I want to ask if I'm going to need a teaching degree. No teaching degree. Hi Zuri, do you need a teaching license? What are the requirements and all of that? So obviously the requirements is that you need to be coming from a native English speaking country, and you need to have a bachelor's degree, and they don't need any Japanese, by the way, so you don't have to understand how to speak Japanese. It's okay, as long as you have English and your degree, you're good to go. And then, can a person with an advanced diploma qualify? I don't think so. They specifically say they want a bachelor's degree, so if it's not a bachelor's degree, I don't think it qualifies. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the YouTube videos. The question is, I noticed that they need 2 pages of motivation. Is there any specific information we are supposed to include when writing the motivation letter? And also, how much is the salary? Do you pay your own flights? Okay, in terms of the motivation, I don't know if you're speaking about the statement of purpose or the 2 reference letters, but the motivation, if you are speaking about the statement of purpose, for that you basically need to just give them, like, obviously like your application already explains who you are, what you have and all of that stuff, but I feel like they want you to get a little bit more personal. Like, why are you interested in Japan? Why are you interested in coming here to Japan? Obviously you'll emphasize on the sharing of culture, because it is an exchange and teaching program, so you're exchanging cultures, sharing about your experiences about being a South African to Japanese kids and all of that stuff. So emphasize on that, like you want to learn about the Japanese culture, you're interested in Japanese cuisine, you're interested in Japanese traditional houses, like the history and all of that stuff. Like, you need to emphasize on that, like what got you hooked on Japan. For me, I will not lie to you, I do not watch anime, guys. Like, I'm not gonna say I'm not in the slightest interested in anime, but anime is not something I watch. Like, when people watching Dragon Ball Z and Naruto and all of that stuff, I never really watch that. I watched Demon Slayer because my partner said that it is really good. I watched that. I didn't even finish that, but I was not really interested in anime. What I was interested in was like the traditional style houses. Like I mentioned that, like I'm specifically in Kyoto, I'm interested in the Kyo-machiya, like the traditional Kyoto style houses. I'm interested in the tea ceremonies, I'm interested in their gardens and how they do the bonsai, and I'm interested in the food and all of that kind of stuff. Like, I'm interested in everything else but like anime stuff. So that's what I wrote in my statement of purpose. I included all of that. Dewalt, on the other hand, he is very anime based and he loves anime. He's been watching anime his whole life. He's actually even been part of like a karate something with fighting that is Japanese, whatever, when he was younger, and he joined that kind of club. So whatever it is that has you interested in Japan, write about that, and obviously make it stretch for 2 pages. So yeah, that's basically that. And then the next thing is that how much is the salary. I'll put it here on the screen. That is how much they say they pay you on JET, and they also provide you with health insurance, and if you do come with a partner, that partner is also going to be on the health insurance, and they pay for your flights. Since you asked, you they pay for your flights. No, you don't pay for your own flights. They pay for your flights. They pay for your meals on the flights. They pay for your hotel stay. They pay for all of that. Yeah. Working hours. The next question is working hours and vacation days, benefits. Please also share your own journey of getting a job that side if you did not get into the JET program. Okay, so in terms of the benefits, like I said, the benefits are the health insurance. Sometimes you get subsidized houses depending. Again, some jets or ALTs got subsidized houses. They get to pay like half of the price, or they don't even get to pay any rent at all. So I will count that as a benefit. Leave, I will ask Diabal how many days of leave he gets, and I'll also just write it here on the screen. I'll also write it here on the screen, like how much leave he gets. Also, please share your own journey of getting a job that side if you did not get into the JET program. So what I did to get a job in Japan, like I told you guys, I looked at Altia Central, which is another ALT type of company which does the exact same thing as JET, and I considered applying for that. But I did not apply for anything until I got to Japan, right? And when I got to Japan, I applied for my job through a website called Gaijinpod, which is a place where foreigners can go and look for jobs in Japan for teaching English purposes or for any other thing. As long as you're a foreigner, live in Japan, you can find a job there. There's that, and there's another company also. I'll just put up both companies here on the screen so that you guys can know what I'm talking about. You can search for a job there. The next YouTube question says, I completed my TEFL certificate and I have other qualifications but not a teaching qualification. Do I qualify? Yes, you qualify. As long as you have a bachelor's degree, you qualify. The next question is, hey sis, do they need a degree? I'm doing my first year at UNISA. For next year, I would really love to join the program. You need to finish your degree first before you join the program. Then you can join the program. And then the next question is it only for native speaking countries? I'm from Botswana. This is the second person asking me from Botswana. Yes, it's for native English speaking countries only is what they say on the website. But like I said, there are people, I don't know if people that are from Ukraine are native English speaking countries. I don't think so. Even Russians are not native English speaking countries from what I can gather. But there are people that are from non-English speaking countries who I assume got the TEFL certificate to prove that they have English teaching experience to add onto their application so that they can get accepted into JET, I think. I'm not sure. But yes, you need to be from a native English speaking country. But I will say this, there are people that are here that are not from native English speaking countries. So next question is, do I need a teaching qualification to do this? No. And then the next question is also, Shu, I have tons. What requirements do they need? Do they assist if you want to move with spouse and kids? How long is their contract if you get in? Is kindergarten free for kids? Also, I will do research too. Thanks. Okay. Requirements, I already spoke about that. In terms of your spouse and kids, yes, they do. What they offered me, right, was that when Diabalt was going to stay in the hotel where all the jets were staying, they offered to book a room for me too. They offered to arrange for transport from the airport to the hotel, and like they basically offered to do all of that, but you have to pay for it out of pocket. Like you have to pay for it yourself. The jets don't have to pay for it. You as the spouse or the extra person that you're trying to bring has to pay for it themselves. Your kids also have to pay for it themselves. Like they're not gonna provide your kids with flight tickets, your spouse with flight tickets, none of that stuff, out of pocket for them. You, the person that's on jet, obviously will get, you know, all of the stuff done for you, all of that bags, check-in, all of that stuff. But your kids and your spouse that you want to bring with, they have to pay for everything themselves, but they help you with that. So if you don't know anything about Japan or you don't know where to go and all of that stuff, obviously they'll say, okay, cool, we'll take you to Tokyo. All you need to do is work with our agent here and they'll book everything for you. You send the money to the agent and they book everything for you on your behalf. So if you're willing to do that, you can do that. Me, on the other hand, flying all the way to Tokyo was expensive. I think I had to pay 21,000 or 26,000 for a plane ticket, one-way plane ticket to Tokyo, which was very, very expensive. So we opted out for me going to Osaka and spending the duration of when it's going to be in Tokyo until the last day of orientation for me to spend in Osaka just basically gallivanting, solo traveling by myself. So that's what I did. So I flew in from obviously South Africa to Osaka, which is like the Kansai International Airport or something like that, which was much cheaper. Instead of paying 26,000, I ended up paying like 14,000 or 12,000 for my plane ticket. It was a little bit more because I wanted like automatic check-in and specific seating and all of that stuff, just to be comfortable. And I also got insurance for my bags just in case they got lost and all of that. That's what increased the price to like 14,000, but I think my plane ticket was like 12,000 at most, and I paid for that myself. I also paid for my own Airbnb. I also did not have airport transfer, which means when I got to the airport, no one fetched me when I was in the airport. I had to figure it out by myself, which is part of the reason why I was so stressed out, I think, when I first arrived in Japan, because I had to do that by myself, while the JET program people actually get help and assistance and all of, they don't have to do anything by themselves really. Like they get there, someone's like, hey, JET people this way, and they fetch you and they, you know, take you wherever you arrive, or wherever you were going. They're like, hey, JET people this way, and then, you know, you go there, like it's guided, you have people around and all of that stuff. If you want to do that, you can do that, but the trick is, if you bring your family and your kids and your spouse, and you are not gonna see them. Like, not that you're not allowed to see them, you're barely gonna spend any time with them in any way, because you're gonna be so busy doing orientation, meeting with other jets, mingling, doing all that kind of stuff. So for me, I was like, you know what, cool, let me just go to Osaka. I want to go to Osaka in any way, so I'm gonna go spend a few days in Osaka, and then when he's done with orientation, when he finally comes to Kyoto, in our final apartment where we're gonna live, then I'm gonna also come to Kyoto. So which is what I did. Kindergarten. The one other lady who is from Australia that I spoke to, who's also on JET, who brought her whole family, she brought her husband and her 2 kids here. She says her kids don't have to pay for school fees, and she brought her kids who were studying in Australia to come here in Japan. So I don't know if kids pay. She says her kids are not paying school fees to go to a Japanese school, so maybe they don't pay school fees. Next question is, do we pay when we apply? No, you do not pay when you apply. Please do not pay. Don't let anyone let you apply through an extended link of some sort. No, there's only one place where you get all your information about JET, and that is the embassy's website. The embassy's official Facebook page, and also the embassy's website. And then, how much does the whole thing cost? Did you have to pay for anything, and how much? Okay, the costs. We had to pay for the courier of the police clearance that we had to pay for. We had to pay 200 each way, so we paid 800 because we did it twice. Okay, so we paid 800 and something there, or 1,000 something there, and then paid to courier the application, which was also like 220, because that was the courier company that we used. We used the medical aid that we had in South Africa, GEMS, to do our medical health check, which, I mean, it was not free technically, but we didn't really pay out of pocket, but it was a monthly payment thing. I think that health check costed 1.8 or so to do, like the medical health check, urine test, blood test, blah, 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 all of that kind of stuff. Around that price, but it was covered by the medical aid. And then we spent petrol money to drive to PE for a day and come back for the interview, and I think we paid petrol for like 1,000 rand or so to go to PE and come back, or 1,500 rand for petrol to go to the interview in PE. And then after the interview, I flew to Joburg to go drop off our passports. That's another thing. We applied for our passports. We paid 450 or 400 each for our passports before the price went to 600 rand. So we paid for that, and then I went to Joburg for the weekend to go submit our visas and all of that stuff. That was me paying for a flight ticket. I'll just calculate all of these things and add the final total. That was that. And then also after that, anything that has to do with JET, that was all that stuff. And then after that, if you are just going on JET by yourself, those, I think that's the last bit where you have to stop in terms of like payment and all of that stuff. What I paid extra obviously is my flight ticket, because I came on as a spouse, and then also the Airbnb that I stayed at, and then also obviously my travel costs, like my train from the airport to wherever and from wherever to here is what I paid for. So yeah, I'll calculate all of that and just write it here on the screen. That's how much I spent. If you minus the flight and all of that stuff, then that's how much you spend before you get to Japan, if the program, well, when the program pays for you, basically. The next question is, can I teach with a UNISA degree? I have a UNISA degree and I teach with my UNISA degree. Diewald has a UNISA degree also, 2 UNISA degrees actually, and he teaches with his UNISA degrees. Doesn't matter the university, I think, as long as it's accredited overseas and it's recognized overseas, then you're good. Then the next question is, hey Fave, do you need experience? Not really. You don't really need experience. There is a column on the application where it asks you about your job experience. If you had any volunteer work or whatever, I don't think you should include that, because I don't think they want that or anything like that. But any type of work experience you have, you can add it there, as long as it's in relation to teaching, or is in relation. If you tutored someone for 5 months or something, include that there. It counts as experience. Anything like that. If you worked as an assistant teacher somewhere, you add that. That's what I added. I added that I was teaching on Italki. I added any little nitty-gritty job I did that basically shows that you work well with people, you communicate with people. Add that, as long as it's teaching related. You don't need the experience though, because there are some people that have never had, because it says on the website that it encourages people who are fresh out of university to apply. So I don't know where between your university studies you've gotten the chance to actually work. So they don't really, it's not that important, but like if you have experience, you can add it. The next question is, what are the requirements needed to teach in Japan? How much money must one have when moving? Is it expensive to live in Japan? What are the costs of living? Okay, I already covered the requirements part. How much money must one have when moving? That really depends on you and what you wanted to do. So when we came here, we had plans of, like, we sold everything basically, right? Like we sold our couches, car, everything. We came here with nothing. So if you want to come to Japan and you're a person that is okay with getting handed down furniture, then you don't have to come with that much money, because there are some other jets that have been here that want to go back to their home countries that are donating their bed, their couch, their tables. We got a table from one of the other previous jets and a bicycle that was leaving. The only thing that I think we, personal experience again, did not want was a bed, because I don't think I can deal with a bed that someone else slept on. I know it's different because we sleep in hotels and Airbnbs, so my point is mute. But a bed that is gonna stay in our apartment for a while, I did not want it from other people. And then in terms of a couch, most of the couches that were being offered here were not to my taste, so I wanted to buy a couch. So we had that plan. So the amount of money we brought here was calculated towards the things that we wanted to get when we got here. We wanted to get internet, we wanted to get a washing machine when we got here the first month, and we wanted to get a bed. Those were the 3 most essential things we wanted. And we also got a computer in the first month. So we brought all that money here. So like I said, we came here with 30,000 or a little bit more than 30,000, and then the other money was still in our South African bank account. So in the first month we used majority of that 30,000, and in the second month we used a little bit more of the other money. How much money you need? I think 30,000 is a good amount to come with. Unspent, untouched is a good amount to come with. You buy a washing machine. Our washing machine, we paid for a washing machine which is like 2,000 rand, and have you seen our washing machine is gigantic, like it's big. Stuff in Japan, some stuff in Japan is not expensive and some stuff in Japan is expensive. I don't know how to explain it. Like things like the couch that we have here, I think we would have paid like 15,000 in South Africa for this couch, but in Japan we paid like 6,000, 7,000 rand for our couch. Same thing with the washing machine. We would have paid like 5, 6, 7,000 in South Africa for that washing machine, paid 2,000 rand for that washing machine. Internet, same thing, same deal. Like the bed, same thing, same deal. So you have to plan out what you want to buy in your first month, and then that's the amount of money you need to bring. And then in terms of cost of living in Japan, I made a video on how much I spend on groceries in Japan, so you can go check that out and see roughly how much I spend per week. If you are lucky to have a big fridge, then you can shop for the month, and then you'll calculate how much you spend for the month, which I think we roughly spend like 2,000 rand a month on groceries here and there. The water is very cheap. The electricity, we pay like 300 rand for the month, which is insane because we used to pay 300 rand every week, not even, or every 4 or 5 days in South Africa. Here we pay less for electricity, so some stuff is relatively affordable and cheap, and some stuff is expensive, like the fruits and the vegetables in Japan are expensive. So yeah. Okay, the last bit of the questions are similar about requirements. I'm not gonna answer those. The other one is, for me, I want to know how you are adjusting to the move. What are the biggest culture shocks so far? What are your work hours? Ooh, the move. The move was not hard. The moving was hard, if that makes sense. Like the move, I already, like I said, I wanted to come here in 2022 already. So I already like prepared my mind, you know, that I'm gonna do this. I prepared my family, prepared some of my friends, and all of that. So the move, processing the move was not hard. Moving was difficult because we had to sell everything. And if you guys watched my previous vlog when I moved from Pretoria to East London, that was very tedious. Now moving from East London to here was even worse. We had 1 month of no place to stay. We stayed 2.5 weeks a bit at Devil's parents, 2.5 weeks at our parents, and it got so horrible because, not horrible in the sense that like they were treating us bad, but like horrible and like we need personal space. Yeah, like we need personal space in the sense that like you're so used to living by yourself and living with your partner and just being free, and when you live in other people's houses, I know it's my family home and I know it's his family home, but like technically it's other people's houses, guys. Like don't come at me. It's different. So that part of being homeless for a month was not nice. The part of leaving my dogs behind was not nice. I actually cried so much leaving my dogs. I cried a bit when I was leaving my dad and my mom and my brother and my friends, but the most painful part about the whole process was the dogs part. It was very, very painful. I miss my dogs so much. There is a way to bring your dogs to Japan and all of that, but our apartment that the jet people got for us does not accommodate dogs. You could just decline the apartment that they found for you and you can find your own apartment, but we didn't want that hassle. Like, it's just too much work already. So yeah, the next part of this was that adjusting has been okay. It's been too damn hot though. Like, it's been so hot, I don't even know how to explain to you guys. It's like, you know when you're cooking pap or when water is boiling and it's hot already and you just go there on top of like the steam, and it's like, that's how hot it is. Like, it's so hot. Like, the air is hot. Like, everything is just hot. Like, it was so hot. And I know it's gonna be cold, and I'm gonna complain again about it being cold because I have the right to complain about it being too damn cold. So yeah, the adjusting to the weather has been horrible. I can't do it. I can't do it. Get someone else to do it. Get someone else to do it. When they say Japan is hot, I did not think it was this hot. Like, they should have said it is hot like a heater. It is hot like you're in the oven. It is hot like there's fire everywhere and someone is blowing wind through the fire to make it so hot. It's really hot. I'm not even over. It's so hot. I'm not even over exaggerating. I've never sweated this much in my life. Okay, I did not know that my body could produce that much water. It's so hot. Anyway, and then what are the biggest culture shocks so far? I'm not sure yet. The culture shock that it's not really a culture shock. It's just like me, you know. But I guess that is culture shock. Maybe they microwaves, most of them, they don't spin, and then also they don't have that stove, you know, the one that we have with the stove tops with the 4 plates and the deep, like you can cook on top, you can bake something there, you can, that kind of, like, I haven't seen any of that. And to get one of those, you have to pay like a lot of price to get that stove. So yeah, the other thing is that the toilet. I watched a lot of Xoxo's videos and Precious videos before I got to Japan because they're South African girls that already live in Japan. Xoxo spoke about this bidet toilet, or this drop, or like the squat toilet. Yes, that's called a squat toilet. I thought to myself, I mean, that's not gonna be that shocking. When I was shocked when I saw it because I was like, so you're telling me that I could not process it. So that's probably that. I don't have a lot of culture shocks per se, because there's so many things that I already expected when I came here to Japan already. Like I said, I was like, guys, when they say someone has an obsession, they were talking about me. When they say obsession in the dictionary, Bradley is there, because I was obsessed. Anything Japan, anything, any J vlogger, YouTuber, news outlet, newspaper, article, website, Instagram post, anything. If you lived in Japan, I was like, okay, follow this person, see what they do for a living. Watch this person, see what they subscribe to. So like, guys, I was inhaling Japan content for 2 years straight. So when I came here, there was not a lot of things that like shocked me that much, because I was like, oh, okay, cool. The thing that I will say, it's not a culture shock, but it's more like an annoying thing. Not annoying as in like, oh my god, I don't want to do this. Annoying as in it's inconvenient is the recycling. Oh my god. Like, do you know the stress that goes into throwing out anything? Like, even buying anything in the shop, you have to think, oh my, like, where am I gonna throw the, like, I have to create a different like pile of garbage to put this in there and set it. It's very inconvenient, but you know what, it teaches you responsibility. I think that's what they're trying to do, teach you responsibility and like something, I don't know, because in South Africa we just chuck everything in the same garbage bag. I mean, to a certain extent, you know, the garbage pickers we have in our countries that come and they take the Coke bottles and they semi do the recycling for us. Yeah, Coke bottle, rinse the Coke bottle, remove the cap, remove the plastic around the Coke bottle. Plastic goes into a separate thing, plastic bottle goes into a separate thing, plastic cap goes into a separate plastic thing, combustible, this and this, cardboard, different types of cardboard, written on paper, you must like wrap it up. Inconvenient, but I'm learning though, so that's okay. Like, I don't hate it, it's just like, ugh. Like, you know, when you peel vegetables and like there's a plastic and a paper there in the packaging, you just want to in one bag. Can't do that. So yeah. And then what are your working hours? My working hours are, I work from 9:15 until 5 p.m. so the work culture here is a bit, it's just weird. Not weird as in a bad way, but it's just strange, I guess. Maybe that would be my culture shock actually, because I worked as a teacher in South Africa and I'm so used to going to work at like around 7, 6:30, and so my day is done at 3. Yeah, you come back home at like 6 p.m. and you're a teacher. I'm just like, but how though? Like, why are we coming back so late? Like, what's going on? Like, basically, essentially, during the week you can't do nothing. Like, you can't do anything. And the other thing is that, yes, you go to work a bit later, but shops and stuff open late too. So it's like, why are you having me come into work late, but you don't even have the shops open? I know it's not the school's problem, but like, the shops are not even open. I can't even go quick grocery shopping before I go to work because the shops are not open. Like, the only thing that are open is like Family Marts and like, you know, convenience stores and stuff. I want to shop there because it's, convenience stores are actually kind of expensive if people actually realize it. But anyway, so yeah, that's weird. I think I work the same hours I worked in South Africa. I have a longer break. My break is like 1 hour, like 1 hour straight, like 1 hour, like you sit there, that's your lunch or your break or whatever, and then you have to go back to work. So I think I work 7 hours and then I have a 1 hour lunch break, but your time is still wasted commuting to work. I mean, I enjoyed working online because I didn't have to commute anyway. Like, my work hours were literally like, you know, to the T, because I didn't have to go anywhere. But here you have to commute for an hour to get to work. That's 1 extra hour, which means yes, you work 7 hours, but 1 extra hour of commute, another extra hour again when you commute back from work. So that's like, what, 9 hours of you being outside of the house or more even. So yeah, I'm not sure if that's my favorite thing in Japan right now, but it is what it is. They pay more, so they pay way more, so that's a bonus. We use our weekends, like when it's Saturday, Sunday, we are outside, okay, because we need to be outside. Like, we can't sit inside the house and do nothing because we need to be outside, can't do anything. So yeah, that's basically that in terms of the JET program. Like I said, the deadline for applying to the JET program for South Africans don't know about other countries, is the 16th of October. And if there's anything that I missed that you have questions about, please leave your comments down below in the comment section and I will get back to them and I will answer you. If you'd like for me to do a separate video of how I got my job to teach at an international school, I'm not an ALT, I'm not an assistant language teacher or anything like that. I'm not on the JET program, I'm not working for Altia. I got a job to be a homeroom teacher in an international school in English in Japan. So if you'd like for me to do a separate video on that, let me know and then I will do that. But for now, thank you guys for watching and I will see you guys again in my next video. Good luck to you who is applying to JET. Hope everything goes well. If not, if you have a partner, I advocate for you to apply to JET with your partner and take a chance. It's a 50-50 chance. You know, you never know. I assume that's how my math is working in my head. So yeah, see you guys next time and thank you guys for watching this video yet again. See you guys in my next video. Bye.